Hey, Elifs. That's right. You you were first this time without lying. Welcome in everybody. Soul Commodore here, back at you again um, for part two of our little art chat, going over my body of work over the past since I basically started posting work online. Thanks, man. Yeah, you know, every once and again I ditch the hat. Uh, And I felt because the last time we did this art chat, I wasn't wearing a hat either, so I thought I'd continue it. How was the ice cream? Ice cream was good. Ice cream was good. It turned out really well. It was just, standard standard vanilla ice cream because we were getting brownies, and I thought, well, it'd be good to have brownies and ice cream, So I just kind of mixed the two together, but it turned out really well, really well. Thank you for asking. But welcome in everybody. Glad to see you all here. Um, yeah, we're going to continue with our little art chat, going up to as close to present day with my work as possible. And you'll understand what I mean by that when we get there. But we're going to get as close to present day as possible. Um, and then once that's finished, we're gonna do some live painting. Um, you know. Also, I know it isn't like everywhere, but I know in Canada and I'm pretty sure the States as well. Um, I may have to lurk for a bit. Need to finish my tote bag. Hey, no worries, no worries. I appreciate you being here. Whether you got other stuff to do, you just got me on your headphones, or you know, whatever it is, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. No worries at all. Um, so I know in Canada and the States, I'm pretty sure it is, but happy Mother's Day, everybody. Whether you know, you are a mother or had a mother or have a mother or you know wish you did or have lost a mother, like whatever the case may be, I hope you have a wonderful day today. um, and it's actually kind of poignant that we're starting the second part of this on Mother Day, because when we last left off we were talking about sort of the beginning of my art career post my mother passing away. So it kind of worked out that it's that it's Mother's Day today. um, you know, um, in terms of timing, from where we are in my chronology, if you will. So, with that, um, let's move over to our screen. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was hoping the screen would show up, and it did. Um, so yeah, the last time we left off, I was talking about how post my mother passing away, um, we really start seeing a shift in my work. And a lot of people might contribute that to the death of my mom and like how traumatic that can be. And that's why my artwork took a darker tone. Um, hey, thank you, Ellipse. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. So that tone that you're talking about actually kind of plays into this, because it's one of those things where it's like, um, well, did the mood of your work shift because of your mother passing away? And it's like, well, yes and no. Um, oh, just drop something. We'll pick that up later. Yes and no. It shifted to a darker tone because, as I mentioned last time, when my mom passed away, when my mom died, I realized that a lot of things that I worried about didn't matter anymore. Right? I had just gone through the worst experience of my life, and everything else paled in comparison. Um, that that event kind of killed any anxiety that I had about my work and what the kind of direction that I wanted to go with it. Um, which led to me starting to delve into subject matter and topics and moods and looks in my work that I was much more interested in than what I was doing before. Um, Not to say that I wasn't interested in what I was doing before, but now it just kind of synthesized. It's like, no, this is what I want to do. This is the direction I want to take. Um, and last time we talked about three pieces that were kind of the beginnings of that. There was a little bit confusion last time because I said that I had painted this one first, Queen and Park, and then moved on to these two, Shroud and Trespass. And I remembered that the reason that there was that confusion was because I started this painting before I started these two. I just finished this one third out of the three. This one took the longest, which is why technically this one was finished in 2017. These two were finished in 2016, but I started this painting before these ones. So that's where that confusion was. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where we start to see a different shift in tone in my work, um, and kind of what I was exploring at the time. Um, and that continues. I should also explain too. So in 2016, like I mentioned, the 30th of January, my mom passed away. Um, I was kind of languishing. I wasn't really creating much. Like I said, uh, Fisher was kind of the piece that you know was like, okay, uh, this piece I did was kind of like, okay, my mom passed away. This is how I'm coming to terms with it. This is like the one piece now. It's like a clean break with those emotions in terms of them coming out in my artwork. Like this was the piece, um, and then I was like, okay, now I can move on. But I didn't really move on because I was kind of stuck in limbo in my real life outside of, you know, my artwork. Um, because I was living in Chatham, Ontario, in my childhood home, with my dad, and I think my sister might have been there as well. Um, and I was just kind of like, okay, I need to make a move because I planned to move. My big plan was to move up to the Greater Toronto Area, the GTA, to start my art career in either like late 2015 or early 2016. That was my plan. Um, and then my mom dying kind of, you know, I put those plans on hold because I was like, no, 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 I need to be here for my family. And also I kind of lost the drive to do so. And then right around like July or so, I was like, you know what? You're just hanging out here. Like you're not doing anything. You're not creating anything. You're not doing anything, right? You did those three commissions, and that was it, right? You haven't done anything for you. So I decided, I think it was in August of 2016, I texted one of my cousins who lives up this way. Um, and I said, hey, is it okay? Does that offer still stand of me staying with you if I were to move up that way? And she said, absolutely. So I decided in September I was going to basically move not all of my stuff, but I was gonna like pack a suitcase and a big bag, um, throw it in my trunk, and I was gonna come up here and try to make a name for myself in the big city, you know, because Toronto is a bigger city than than Chatham, Ontario. Chatham's like 45,000 people. Um, Toronto's millions, so um, that was my plan. Um, just gonna turn this music down a little bit. There we go. So yeah, that was my big plan, was to just move up here and start my career. And my cousin didn't live in Toronto proper. She lived in one of the towns outside of Toronto, right? That's still attached, right? Because everything up here is attached. Like all the cities like bleed into one another in the Greater Toronto area. But um, I was like, I need to be in closer proximity to like be able to like kickstart my career. So that's what I did in September 2016, and then I got a job in 20. That's what was funny too. I moved up here without a job, without any sort of prospects. Like the only person I knew was my cousin. I had another cousin on my mom's side that lived in Mississauga on the other side of Toronto. Um, but I'm east. Mississauga is west of Toronto. Um, but I wanted to be east. So here I was, and then my cousin has a friend who was associated with the Station Gallery, and she said, "Oh, you should go check out the Station Gallery in Whitby, Ontario. Yeah, they've got really cool exhibits, and they do a lot with like membership stuff. So you should go become a member." And it wasn't like super super expensive to become a member. It's very very reasonable, which I was very happy about because I had savings, but I didn't want to burn through all of my savings. You know, so it was like a one-time membership fee that renews every year, and it was very, very, very easy. Um, and then I got started doing. They had open studio uh, on Monday mornings, where you can just bring in whatever you wanted and just work on it in a studio in the basement. Um, and my cousin's friend, like, I don't think she had any professional capacity with the gallery. I think she just liked the gallery and just mentioned it because I was saying like I'm trying to find local galleries that I can just check out and see what the art scene is, And she mentioned Station Gallery, so I went to look. Um, and it was at those open studios that I come on, computer. Thank you. That I did Shroud and Trespass. I think I might have worked on Queen and Park there as well. But Shroud and Trespass were definitely done at the Station Gallery in the open studio. So, yeah, that's where we left off last time. I've talked a lot about where we were last time. But we're going to move on now to the sequel to Trespass, Trespass 2. And this is a charcoal drawing that I did for a charity event that Station Gallery does called Drawing for Art. It's basically like an auction thing. All the proceeds go to I forget which charity. Actually, I don't think it's a I think part of it's charitable and part of it's a fundraiser for the gallery. I'll have to look that up, but it's really cool because it's an auction, and basically like you donate a certain amount of money and then you get your name into a draw, and if they draw your name then you win the artwork, right? Which is really really nice. And all the artworks are donated, so I donated this to that. It was the first one I had ever done. And this here, because I've had a lot of comments like wondering what this is, right? This is a charcoal drawing of a loading dock at the old Sears in the downtown Chatham Center that's out of use. And I was just walking by one night and decided to snap a picture because it's like, you know what, this has a certain look to it that I like, it's just very foreboding, and it's kind of like off center, and this thing's like slanted up here, so it made it very kind of visually interesting to me. Plus like the numbers here are like kind of faded, so that really interested me, that really spoke to me. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna draw this. And you can see, and this is kind of the sequel to Trespass, like I said. You see the pieces here in progress. That's me doing this on my cousin's floor, because that was the most space that I had, because I didn't have a desk. Oh, excuse me. So here's the pencil drawing, and then here I am, kind of in the process of filling it up with charcoal again on my cousin's on my cousin's basement floor. You know, The one thing that I love the look of charcoal, but I will say it is very messy. It is very, very messy. So so yeah, that's Trespass 2, and there will be a third piece that'll be on the next page that kind of completes this trilogy. Um, and yeah, my whole idea, I mean, it's right in the title, right? I wanted people to feel like kind of like they're trespassing on something, that they're like looking in on something that they shouldn't, that they shouldn't be there. It's kind of the vibe that I wanted to go for. This here, we talked about last time. A tasty burger was a commission for a friend of mine. These were some more that he asked for. Um, each of these pieces was 11 by 17 inches. So he wanted a little bit of Rocky. And he wanted a little bit of Terminator 2 thrown in there. He's a big movie fan, right? So he wanted some movie posters. So I did all these charcoal drawings for him. Then we've got a two-part here, Pulp Fiction. We've got Uma Thurman's character, you know, and then we've got John Travolta's right there, and then we've got Mr. John McClane himself, Bruce Willis in Die Hard, crawling through the vents. Now these pieces are kind of significant, for a very personal reason, because I did these in 2017 and I delivered them to my friend in December of 2017. He was down visiting his mother for Christmas, like I was visiting my family for Christmas. At that time, the Sport Check that I worked at, had just closed because they decided to shut down the store, and I decided that I had enough of retail, so I didn't have a job. You'll notice a trend with me. I tend to like quit jobs or whatever when I don't have something lined up. Uh, Thankfully, I don't got to worry about that anymore. At least I hope. Fingers crossed. But at the time, I was like, no, I'll find something. Because I was done doing retail. Like I was just done with it. I was over it. Um, so I delivered these pieces to my friend at his mom's place, and I met his then girlfriend, now wife, because they just got married this past year. Um, and I basically um, was just talking to them, catching up, reminiscing. But I mentioned that I met this girl, um, who seemed kind of cool, So we'll see how that goes, if anything comes of it. And it did, because I'm still dating her. What is this? 5 years later? Well, technically, we just celebrated in February our fourth anniversary. So technically 4 years, but I've known her for 5 years. Um, Yo, Jake from the Woods, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you? Yo, Jake, bravo on that on that stream yesterday. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. For those of you who don't know, hey, Toxic Cookie, how are you? How are you? Love Story Sunday? Well, we started out talking about my mom again, like where we left off from last time. And now I'm talking about how I delivered these pieces to a mutual friend of ours. And I was talking about how I had just met my girlfriend. I had just met my girlfriend. We weren't dating yet. It was just kind of like, kind of feeling each other out, seeing like, okay, is this something? Because I don't know. I have no confidence in stuff like that, right? Um, but this kind of is like, you know who the mutual is this time. Yeah, yeah. So I delivered these to him, and I that was the first time that I brought up my girlfriend's name to someone else, other than my dad, because I told my dad about it. It was like, well, it might be something, it might not, I don't know, but it turned out to be something, because here we are. Uh, like I said, just celebrated our fourth anniversary. So yeah, no problem, no problem. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. Um, so I was also given some backstory, Jake, on my move up to the GTA and how that all went, um, and how I got involved with the Station Gallery and their studio days, and how I did these pieces uh, in their open studio uh, on Monday mornings that I had to stop going to because I started working Monday mornings. They started scheduling me at Sport Check for Monday mornings. So I was like, well, I can't do open studio anymore. And I still haven't been able to go do open studio because I started working after Sport Check. I got a warehouse job that was 9 to 5, well, basically 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And now I have a job, which is the same thing, an office job that's Monday through Friday. I have to work Monday morning, so I can't go to open studio. Now, this piece, Home, this is probably, I've done a lot of, and we're going to come up, we're going to come up on this a little bit later. This isn't the best quality picture of Home, but unfortunately it's the only picture that I have. It's the only picture that I had. I had to take it with like a garbage, like my iPhone before this one had a garbage camera, in particularly bad light. And my apartment that I was in at this time didn't have good lighting for taking pictures of art. So that's why this one looks a little grainy. Like, I wish I could have gone back and gotten a better picture of this, but I can't, because this is also at the Station Gallery, I believe. Let me go back. Yeah, this one's also in the Station Gallery's collection, because I did this for Drawing for Art as well. So this here was my first foray into doing something very personal in terms of my own physical space. This scene is right across the street from my house in Chatham, Ontario that I grew up in. Like, right across the street. What I do is, anyone who knows me knows that I like to take long walks. I love taking long walks, and what I'll do is I'll snap folders upon folders of reference images that could possibly, I could take elements from them and put them in a painting or a drawing, or I might just do them straight up because they're a compelling image, right? And one night I was just sitting on the porch of my childhood home, and it was rainy. It was a rainy night, and this taxi pulled up and let someone off at that house across the street. And I decided, okay, well, I'm going to snap a picture of this because this is kind of an interesting image. And that's what I did. And then this is what was born of it, this piece right here. Yeah. And this was, I believe, the first picture that I did, the first piece of artwork that I did in my new apartment, because I think I did this in it must have been 2018. Yeah, 2018. This period, like 2018, 2017 into 2018, I didn't do a whole lot of artwork actually, because I was adjusting to moving into a new apartment, adjusting to being in a new space, like with this new job and everything. So it was an adjustment period, and I didn't carve out enough time for myself to do a lot of artwork. But this piece was born out of it. And I really liked how it turned out. Once again, the picture does not do it justice. In real life, I think it turned out a lot better looking at it in person. But this was the first piece that I did in my apartment that I moved into in July of 2018. Matter of fact, let me see. This won't be the exact date because it's obviously I don't always post stuff the day that I upload it, or I don't always upload stuff the day that I finish it. But just for reference, yes, so I had moved into my new apartment. Let's see. I moved up here in 2016. I moved into my apartment in July of 2017. That's what it was, July of 2017. Because it was about like 9 months after, right? So I had just, while I was at Sport Check, I didn't create a whole lot of stuff. But this was the first piece that I did in that apartment. And then I moved out of that apartment in October of 2018 because I wanted to be closer to my new job. So we'll go back over here. But yeah, I really love how the taxi turned out. Really love how that turned out. Yeah, sometimes it's weird, isn't it? Sometimes you have a hard time remembering your own chronology, even though it really wasn't all that long ago. So, yeah, I started at Sport Check in October or November 1st of 2016. Worked there until December of 2017, and then because December 2017, the Sport Check closed down. Then in January 2018, I got my new job at the warehouse. And then I moved apartments in October of 2018 because I wanted to be closer to work. Yeah. Okay. None of that is important information. But what is important is that this is my first foray into doing something that was close to me spatially. Like, this is the closest I had come since probably like, obviously I had done pieces of areas around me. Like Queen and Park is Queen Street and Park Ave in Chatham. I did a picture, like Trespass is the Wish Center. All of these pieces are like places that I've taken pictures of, you know. But now we're about to get really, really, really spatially close on the next page. So first we got to look at this piece. This is Trespass 3, the final installment in the Trespass series. Again, not a great picture of it, but this is the first foray I did into throwing a figure into my... I hadn't done a figure in my artwork in a very, very long time, but I decided to throw one in here. This is, again, looking into an apartment building in Chatham. What really compelled me about this apartment building was this area right here, this light down here. And I remember I went up to the doorway and I took a picture, and I was like, I wonder if I can recreate that light, you know, because at this time the play of light and dark really, really spoke to me, right? I also wanted to see if I could get down the geography of the stairs, because stairs are very hard to paint, believe it or not. Like the geometry of it. I just said geography. I meant geometry. But geometrically, it's very, very difficult to paint stairs, especially stairs in perspective, you know. But I think it turned out pretty well, actually. And you can tell that this is a stairwell, and you see someone turning the corner. But yeah, this is a Trespass 3. And again, not a great picture. My phone at this time was garbage in terms of the camera. Like, it just was not good. And I didn't have the money to invest in an actual camera. So I was just kind of stuck with it. That's the thing. Like, I was just kind of stuck using what I had at my disposal, right? But I will say that actually, we're gonna go back for a second because something just crossed my mind. Last week we talked about rejection, when a piece gets rejected from a show, right? So the Station Gallery has a members juried art show, right, for the members of the Station Gallery, and I submitted this piece, Trespass. I submitted this to the 2017 show, right? Well, the show would be in 2017. It was technically 2016, right, that I submitted it. And it didn't get selected. And that was my first look. And it was funny because the people in the open studio were like, that should have gotten in. I don't know what they're doing. And I was like, I mean, hey, it's a thing. It happens, right? However, they had another show in which I put in Queen and Park. And Queen and Park... I forgot about these works in progress. Queen and Park actually won I put this in the 2017 members juried art show, and that was a significant night too. So let me tell you all about this night, because I forgot about this. Um, so I put this into the juried art show in 2017, and it got in. Um, so I invited a whole bunch of people from Sport Check, and Sport Check was closing, right? It was our last month, and Sport Check was closing. So I was like, okay, well, let me invite everybody out to this, right? And a bunch of my friends at Sport Check were like, so what does one wear to an art gallery? And I was like, well, I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt, or jeans and a sweater. Sorry, I'm wearing jeans and a sweater. And then my girlfriend, who again, like I had met once or twice, I had met her once or twice, and I kind of like gave her the details on when this show was. Again, wasn't sure that she was going to be my girlfriend at all. Like she was just an acquaintance of someone that she was a friend of somebody that I worked with, right? Um, it's kind of funny. The second to last day that Sport Check was open, we all decided to go out and kind of like celebrate the store closing, and celebrate the friendships that were there. So we went to Jack Astor's, and I got very, very drunk. Not belligerently drunk, not stumbling over myself, but I was fairly inebriated. And I talked to my girlfriend all night. Again, we weren't dating at the time. I just talked to her all night. Apparently everybody there could tell that there was chemistry between us. I didn't remember any of that. I don't remember anything that I said, other than the wings were really good and the bathrooms were surprisingly clean. I was pleasantly surprised by the bathrooms. Anyway, while the store was closing and we were doing the last bit of inventory stuff, I had I was telling everybody about this, and I had told her about the show, not expecting her to go. But she showed up. I walked in and I saw her, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe she's just being really polite. Maybe she's not into me. She's being polite. Like, like you show up to a person's art show, And the funny part about it too was like all of my friends showed up wearing like fairly fancy stuff, like button downs, and someone had like a blazer on. And then I show up in jeans and a t-shirt, and one of the guys was like, "I can't believe you're actually wearing jeans and a sweater." And I was like, "I mean, I told you I was going to wear jeans and a sweater. I told you I was going to." So that was a fun night, and that was my first inkling that okay, maybe there's something brewing here, relationship wise, So anyway, enough of that digression. This piece won in that gallery show. They have a people's choice, so basically like you can vote for your favorite piece of work in the show, and my piece won. Queen and Park won the People's Choice Award, which meant that I was offered to do my first solo show. So we're actually going to go to a different page here. I meant to go forward, not backwards. So we're actually going to go to a different page and talk about this collection of works here. So we're going to go to shows and collections. Fabric pulled, but going to drink my coffee before starting craft. Hey, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds excellent. Yeah, feel free to let us know how it goes. We must go forwards, not backwards, upwards, not forwards, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom. I like that. So, this was my first solo show. Now, I've heard people call this occultatum, because that's what I called the show. Actually, you can't really see the title of it. Well, you can see it here. I've heard it pronounced occultatum. I think the actual pronunciation, because it's Latin, is occultatum. but it doesn't really matter. What it is though, and let's see if I can find my artist statement about it. Actually, we'll just read it through the pieces. That's what we'll do. So, it's kind of funny, with the exception of Trespass 2, which I wish I hadn't thrown Trespass 3 in there, because it doesn't really remind you of Edward Hopper. Ah, thank you. I like that. I appreciate that. I wish I hadn't thrown Trespass 3 in there, because I just kind of did it to, like, have one more piece. But outside of Trespass 3, this kind of follows like a chronological look, right? Which I did by accident. I didn't actually mean to have it be like kind of a sequential thing. But we'll start with Trespass 2 or 3, right? Yeah, I didn't really have much to say about Occultatum with this piece. So we talked about that piece, so we'll start with Approach. And yeah, 2nd to 7 pieces that was in my first solo show. What is I was being cheeky here. What does Occultatum mean? I'll explain it in the next piece. And I will. So this is a charcoal drawing. This is outside my first apartment. And this is what I mean by I started getting really, really personal. This is in my car, outside, in my parking space, outside my first apartment. My door was just beyond this brick wall, like on this wall, on the left, to go downstairs into my basement apartment. And this is my car. This is my, I believe this isn't my current Camry, because I have a 2001 Camry. This was my 1997 Camry, I'm pretty sure. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is I really loved how this whole area turned out. Especially like this little bit of dust in between the wipers, A lot of people thought that this was a cross up here. It's an antenna, but it was kind of funny how, like, I was more than accepting of people being like, oh yeah, no, that's a cross, which kind of is some sort of symbolism. But this piece I called Approach, and again, the whole idea behind this show was it looks like a cross. Yeah. So I definitely understood where people were coming from, and I didn't like shy away from it being a cross. I was just like, oh, I didn't intend for it to be a cross. It just ended up looking that way. So this is the first piece in the show. And like I said, you're kind of outside, you're in this car, you might be waiting to go in, and then that's when we get to Audience. And I love this piece. I absolutely love this piece. Actually, let me go back, because I'll just read this verbatim, because I like what I wrote. So the basic idea behind the show was to make the viewer question the idea of personal space. These pieces are meant to make you question whether your space is being trespassed upon, or if you're the trespasser yourself. To make the viewer question whether the spaces they are viewing are theirs to occupy. Then I said, see if you can figure out why this one's called Audience. And because I think it's another couple of pieces before I really explain what Occultatum means. So I think I'll just say it here. Let me look it up real quick. So Occultatum basically means to conceal or to hide in Latin. It's not exactly that, but I think I go into more detail on what it means in a later picture. But this is outside my second apartment that I moved to be closer to work. Yeah, I would just, like, the inside light was on, I was outside, because I think I was throwing out trash or something, so I just pulled out my phone and snapped a picture, because I really liked how the light fell coming out of this doorway. Um, I was like, ooh, I need to make a picture of this. Um, I need to do a drawing of this or a painting or something. Um, so that's what I did. Um, this is the smallest piece in the show. I think this is just 11 by 17. Um, I'm pretty sure it's 11 by 17. But anyway, um, so again, I wanted to convey that feeling of being trespassed upon. Now, if anybody has any ideas why this piece is called Audience, like feel free to throw it in the chat while I'm talking. Because I wanted to convey a sense of unease. Like, here's an open door. Do you live here? Is this actually your door, or are you kind of spying on something? You know, are you seeing something that you shouldn't see? You know, are you in a space that you shouldn't be in? Right. So what's the deal? And that's kind of why I left all of this back here very, very dark and very black, because I was like, well, I don't want anything to interfere with it. What I really want here is the light coming out of the door. Are those paw prints or gestalt footprints? Actually, what these are is just stains on the pavement from leaves. But you could obviously interpret them as some kind of paw prints or footprints. But in actuality, they were just stains from leaves that had fallen during the fall, during the autumn, and just kind of stained the patio stones. But I mean, you could by all means interpret them as footprints or paw prints or what have you. But it's funny that you say footprints, because that's the cool thing about art. A lot of it is up to the viewer's interpretation. That's what I love about art as well. I've always said that, like, I can have all the interpretation I want in my work. Like, I can have exactly what I want people to see in my work. I can put it on paper. I can say this is what it is. But once it's available to the public, what I think the art is about doesn't matter anymore. It's out of my hands, It's up to the viewer to interpret it however they like. And you hope that they interpret it in a positive way, in terms of, like, their outlook. Like, you hope that your piece doesn't get turned into, like, Nazi propaganda or something, or doesn't get co-opted by some hate group like that, but you don't as the artist, as the creator, you don't have any control over that. And I think that really railing against someone thinking that your piece is about something else, like, you're like shouting against a brick wall. They're going to take from their piece what they want. I think the more you try to shoehorn in your own meaning in your own art, the more you're trying to sell something to the viewer. Yeah, exactly. Like, A Cult to Tomb, I had a vision for it. I had a vision for the show. I know what I wanted the pieces to be about, and I explained what I wanted the pieces to be about. But if someone interprets it differently, I'm going to accept that, There are artists who don't accept that, and it's like, hey, that's their cross to bear. Me, I'm more than willing to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Hey, cool. So in case y'all haven't guessed it yet, this piece is called Audience, because there just so happens to be a pair of feet standing here, with a little bit of a shadow in the back here, which you may not notice at first glance. But yeah, there's somebody standing here in the darkness. Now, is it possible that they would probably have a little bit of this light shining on them? Yes, of course, but I wanted to conceal that, Obviously, if there was someone standing here, like, they would have to be further back to have no light hitting them at all, right? Did I draw more than the foot? Well, you can see a little bit of light here on the pants, but other than that, no, I left all this concealed. Even though obviously there would be light hitting them. But I did that on purpose, because I was kind of like, okay, I want to make this very, very, very mysterious. But that's why it's called Audience, because there's someone else here. And now we move on to the 4 paintings other than Trespass 3 that are in this piece. Very next one's a vestibule. This one's hanging in my kitchen right now. This is vestibule. So now we're kind of like moving inside, right? We were outside, now we're moving inside. And you can see like there's a little bit of a light here. So this is actually kind of a corollary, if you will. Hey, no problem, Jake. No problem. Take your time. This is kind of a corollary, I guess, with like the second piece of audience, because this is the inside of my first apartment, going down the stairs to my apartment. Audience was I was in my car outside my first apartment. This one is the stairwell leading down to my first apartment. Yeah, so I was kind of pulling from a whole bunch of different places. Hey, Judge Fudge, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you, I appreciate that. So this is vestibule. This is vestibule. It's funny when my show was up, I someone asked me, why is it called vestibule? Why did you call this one vestibule? And I was like, well, because doorway didn't sound as good, so I called it vestibule because it sounds a little bit better as a title. And they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, so they're again, a lot of like darkness, a whole lot of stuff that's not really well defined. I really like how this turned out. This light cast on the wall, the little bit of bricks. You could tell like there's a light source outside, you know, that's really shining on. And what that was the next door neighbors had a really bright pot light or spotlight that came on outside their house, like just needlessly bright. What's the medium? Oh, this is any painting that you see from here on out is acrylic painting. It's acrylic paint. I like oil paint, but I don't have any. Well, no, I do have some oil paint, but my girlfriend can't stand the smell of oil paint, so I don't paint with oil. If I had my own studio, I would probably start dabbling in oil paint again. Also, oil paint is kind of a pain to clean up. Even water-soluble oil paint is kind of a... Yeah, oil painting is fun. Yeah, I really do like oil painting, but I just work with acrylic because easier to clean up, and it doesn't really smell like much, so it doesn't really bother my girlfriend. Because I paint in our bedroom. Yo, Jess, welcome in. How are you? But yeah, my studio in all of these places was my bedroom, right? And my girlfriend didn't live with me in my first or second apartment, but we live in this apartment together. And my studio is our bedroom, you know? So I'd rather her not be irritated by the smell of oil paint, right? You're alive? Well, I'm glad that you're alive. I'm glad to hear that. I am glad to hear that. We're just kind of taking a walk through all of my works, starting from when I first started posting my work online to very close to present day. And like I said, we'll get to that. We'll get to what I mean by that. So yeah, this piece is in this Occultatum series. Is sort of like leading you inside. And again, the whole idea is, what are you being drawn into, right? Like, are you supposed to be here? Is this your space? Is this someone else's? That's kind of the mood that I wanted to portray in these works. Let's see if I said, no, I just said the 4th of 7, right? And now we have Dissension, which is the next in the series. Occultatum is the Latin word for hidden, which ties into the idea of occupying a space. A trespasser will try to remain hidden, whether it is you or a stranger encroaching on the space. Not even just physical presence in the space, but emotional presence. We all put up walls about what we're feeling, and emotion can twist the familiar into the unfamiliar as much as the physical intrusion. What could be hidden behind the facade of a familiar space? So this the next this piece and the next two pieces are the interior of my second apartment. Like you saw the doorway in audience. This is the inside of that doorway leading downstairs to my apartment. So yeah, this again was a big challenge because of the stairs. It's funny what you tie in terms of memories to this kind of stuff, because when I was working on this piece and trying to navigate these stairs and how to paint them, I was watching the 30 for 30 documentary, The Price of Gold, which was about Tanya Harding taking out being part of taking out Nancy Kerrigan out of the ice skating competition leading up to the '94 Olympics. Or was it '92? Might have been. I don't know. One of the two. But yeah, this piece was very, very challenging in terms of perspective, because you'll see this whole perspective doesn't seem like it's right well, it looks right, but while you're drawing it out and you're trying to like put it on canvas, it doesn't actually look all that right. Like this angle doesn't look right when you're just penciling it out. This angle especially doesn't look right. Same with this one. This was like it wasn't even a railing. It was just the thing that went like straight across here. And it's like, well, that's not going to look right. And then you've got the actual floor down here in the basement. Got a washer and dryer here. It was nice being able to like have the washer and dryer right there. Because in my first apartment, I couldn't use their washer and dryer. I had to go to a laundromat. But yeah, and you can see the light trailing down the stairs. I really like this piece. The longer you look, the more distorted it almost feels. Good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. And it's funny, everybody says that these pieces are very monochromatic. Now, it may be because like I painted them, so I see, but I see so much. I mean, obviously it's not a whole lot of color variation, but I used more red in the mixing of this black and white over here. And this obviously is a lot more blue, right? Like I used a lot of blue here, right? Like this is, I mixed a bit of red and yellow to make kind of like a light tan, and then mixed it in with the black and white, right? And then this side has a lot more blue. You can see some of that color variation here. And everyone's like, oh man, these are great black and white paintings. It's like, it's not black and white, but thank you. I'm glad you think they are, I guess. And now we get to my favorite piece in the entire show. Possibly one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. Which is Adjacent. I like this piece so much. I like this piece so much. I don't know how well this is going to work, but it's actually hanging on my wall up there. That's how much I love this piece. It's on my side of the bed. I love this piece so much. And this is the interior of my apartment. My second apartment. Kind of bared down. Like obviously I had stuff on the table. I had like stuff over here. Like I had shoes and everything on there, but I wanted to leave it sparse. I had a clock on the wall, but I took that down. Like you can see a little mug here. But this was me really, really playing with light, you know? And it's called Adjacent because there was a little storeroom right beside the stairs here. And I turned that light on and turned all the other lights off. So it's like, where is this light source coming from? What's in there? You know, but you don't get to see. Which again, presumes like either you're trespassing or somebody's trespassing on you, because is there someone in there? And is the person in there with that light on, is that person supposed to be in there? Like, is this their space or is it your space and you're like, why is this light on? I like that the paintings aren't just black and white. The warmth and coolness of the colors gives the light more dimension. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, like this one has a lot more cool colors on the outskirts. Like on the floor especially. The floor is a lot cooler than this area up here, right? Um, but yeah, you don't want to just use black and white because black and white is very, very flat. Like obviously for charcoal drawing, like it makes sense. And there are black and white paintings, you know, that are very, very striking and very, very good. But it wasn't quite the look I was going for here. I wanted it to be dark. I obviously wanted it to be dark, but I didn't want it to be um, just flat black and white. Um, and I actually didn't, because some people have asked me about this. I didn't paint this um, like in this space. You know, I didn't like sit down my easel and like start painting this while I was looking at it. It was too dark in there to do that. So this was, I snapped a picture of it and then worked off of the picture. Um, but this, I just love. This is, I don't know. It obviously, if you're an artist, you're allowed to have your favorites. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've done. Um, you know, I just love the way it turned out. Love the way it turned out. And in case you're wondering how these tiles came about, like what kind of brush did I use to get these fine lines, that's just pencil. That's just pencil. I cheated. I was like, I don't really feel like trying to get the lines that crisp with a brush, so I'm just gonna draw these in with a. Well, I think it was a charcoal pencil, but either way, it's just pencil. Yeah, it isn't just a series of contrasts; it's a series of darkness. Shadow isn't just gray; it has variations in color, and same with white. Exactly, exactly. I had an art teacher who I talk about a lot on this channel, who always taught us that you don't want to use Mrs. Snyder. Shout out to you, high school art teacher. You don't want to use flat black. You don't want to use just black, because just black is very flat, and there are very few instances in nature where it's just black, right? Just a pure black. Like it's extremely rare that you ever get just a pure pitch black. The black is always going to have variations to it. So I kind of carried that with me, you know. But yeah, I really like this piece. And then the final piece in the show is Clandestine, where this is my this was my bedroom, and you're kind of looking in. Actually, the piece that we're working on now, that's up on the wall, it's the same bedroom. I didn't have a door. It's the same bedroom, just everything's cleared out. There is no black, only dark. Jedi voice. Exactly. So this piece, once again, is like there's remnants of this actually being someone's space, but like there's a laptop on a bed, you know. But is this your space to occupy? Like, is this your laptop? Is this your bed? You know. And obviously, like again, I didn't mean for this to turn out to be like a sequential piece. It just kind of ended up that way. That's just how it ended up. So, you know, I don't think this is the strongest piece out of the entire show. I still do like it, but it wasn't the strongest piece. It's also not the biggest piece. You know, it's 22 by 18, so it's not a small painting per se, but it's not big. But yeah, that was Occult Tomb. That was my first ever solo show. Let me see if I can find a. Yeah, we'll play this little video. Actually, can I make this HD? I swear that I. Oh, okay, I didn't. Yeah, let's. This is the show in person. Again, my phone camera at the time was not great. And yeah, they didn't hang it in the sequence that I posted it online. not gonna lie, it was kind of cool seeing my name up on the wall like that. That was really neat. Yeah, you can see audience is actually a pretty small piece. Audience is a fairly small piece. Same with clandestine. And then there's approach. So yeah, that's that was a cool tattoo. So now we're going to move back to the gallery, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. So we talked about all these pieces. The next piece, tension, is actually hanging on my girlfriend's side of the bed. Oh, thank you, Jess. This piece is hanging on my girlfriend's side of the room. Hey, Bree, how's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. We're just going through a little bit of a timeline of my work. We started this the last art stream that we did. We started this because I hurt my wrist sleeping wrong. You know, slept on my wrist wrong, and I figured that doing 2 hours of painting wasn't going to be great for it. So I instead decided to do this and started out like when I very first started posting my artwork online. And we made it up to the point where like my mom had passed away, and I was deciding, okay, where do I go with my art career now? You know, so we're moving from that to almost present day. Don't worry, my wrist is okay now. My wrist is okay now. Although given the time, we may not actually get to the actual live painting that I promised. We might just continue talking about this, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This piece, tension, stark contrast to the work that I was doing for a cool tattoo. Very dark, very interior spaces, you know, kind of like claustrophobic, if you will. This is wide open. This was me just doing like just free interpretation. This scene actually came to me in a dream, which I know sounds really, really artsy and really like, ooh, but no, I literally like woke up from a dream, wrote this down on my phone, like in the notes, and then decided to paint it. And it was my first foray into trying to do water, you know, which I think turned out pretty well, personally. You know, I really have a lot of affinity for this piece, because yeah, it's very, very stark contrast to what I was doing before. Very stark. But there's still like an air of mystery to it. You wrote a graphic novel based on a dream? Nice, nice. What was that about? Actually, another person on here, their username's kind of cute Reezy, talked about how this sort of scene, this reminded her of a scene in Spirited Away, which I guarantee like this is where that scene probably stuck in my subconscious, and then I dreamt it, but it came out looking like this in my dream. I guarantee that's where it came from, was that scene in Spirited Away, on the train when they're passing by. The train is like in the middle of water, and like just this vast sea, and it's like, oh, 100% that's probably where I picked up this scene from in my subconscious, and then I dreamt it, but it altered, obviously. But yeah, I love this piece. I think this is my girlfriend's favorite piece that I've done. You know, two ghosts in a purgatory trying to let go, and then once they do, they reincarnate. Ooh, very, very nice. I like that. I like that concept. I like that a lot. If you've got that graphic novel available anywhere, feel free to post the link in the chat or anything, because that sounds really, really cool. All right, so now we're moving on to pieces of work. Oh hell no! I wrote it, never finished drawing it. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so now we're moving into some works, half of which that I like, half of which I don't. Actually, not even half. Like there's just, I'll explain it. So in 2019, I got a grant from the Ontario Arts Council to create a body of work for a show, and I called that show Monocopsis, which is the subtle feeling of being like just something being off, something being out of place. That's what Monocopsis means. And so I started creating works with that in mind. And I created like a whole bunch of stuff, but I didn't post all that stuff because, as it turns out, I don't like a lot of the work that came out of this. It was at a very hectic time in my life because I was moving out of my apartment and moving into this apartment with my girlfriend. So it was a very stressful, hectic time. This is like the end of 2019, right? And the deadline was coming up. So a lot of the works I feel work. These are the 6 that I think work the best. But at the same time, I do have my quibbles with them. So we're gonna explore that right now. We're gonna explore that because why not, right? Let's start with the ones that I don't feel work all that well. Yeah, let's start with the ones I feel don't work as well at all. Utopian. This piece didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. To be honest, like this area down here, I really like. The nice thing about this grant is what it is that like when you do show this work, you have to acknowledge the Ontario Arts Council. But from everything that I saw, there wasn't actually a timeline like this has to be your next show, and this has to be displayed within the next 5 years or whatever like that. It was just like, here's a grant to create a body of work. When you do finally put it in a gallery, you have to acknowledge OAC. You have to put it OAC's logo on like any promotional works, all that kind of stuff. That's the stipulation. Excuse me. So thankfully, a lot of the works in this show that I don't like, that I haven't posted anywhere because I don't like them, I do have the liberty to rework them. I do have the liberty to just redo them and rework them. This is one of the ones that I'm going to rework because I like how this all turned out, even though I think I do clouds a little bit better now. So I'll probably rework the clouds. And I like the concept. I'm just going to redo this, you know. I could do this a whole lot better. This was kind of rushed because I had like 4 hours left before I had to like submit what I had done. So I had to submit this. So out of the 6 that I posted here, this is the one that like irks me the most. Like I would definitely redo this one, and rework this one. But I kept it in here for posterity because why not? This one, Reckoning, this is fun. This is actually, I started it, and again, I would probably do this on a bigger scale, like redo this painting, and do it on a bigger scale. Because what this was we, my girlfriend and I went to a paint night with her Dragon Boat team. Yeah, because this piece is 18 by 24. I would probably do this one bigger, and with better quality paint. But we went to a paint night, and I decided, and it was for Dragon Boat, right? So you know how those paint nights go, where they have like a set painting, and then everyone tries their own interpretation of it. And I was like, "Yo, I'm a painter. Like, I'm just gonna go." So that was really fun. One of the dudes that came over, who was leading the thing, he was like, "So you paint a little bit, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." Because this is completely different from what the actually, let me see if I can find them. Hold on. We're going on a Facebook trip for a minute, everybody. because my girlfriend and her parents also painted pieces in this. Let me see if I can find them. Let's exit out of that. Okay, I said exit. Thank you. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, so it's not in that section. Let's see if it's in here. See if it's in my photos. There's a whole bunch of stuff around George Floyd's death that I did. It looks like no. Oh, this was cool. This was cool. Trespass actually. There's a thing called Time Razor. Oh, you got that grant in 2017. Nice. Sorry, I missed that message. And thank you, Jess. I'm glad you think it's beautiful. We'll get back to that in a second. But I thought I'd mention that this Trespass was the first piece that I actually sold. That wasn't a commission, which made me feel really, really good inside. So here it is at the show where it sold. I just thought I'd do that. I thought that I would have the other pieces in here. Oh, there I am with Jake from the Woods. In case y'all didn't believe that he and I were friends in real life, there we are. Went to go visit him years and years ago. Okay. So yeah, I guess I didn't post the other. Well, I think my girlfriend and her parents posted them, but they're not in here, so I'm not gonna search too hard for them. Anyway. So this was done at a paint night. Oh, such a good feeling. And I was still in that mode where like, okay, I want to do something and make it feel a little bit off. So you might think that the off feeling is we've got this industrial area over here, and it's like, no, that's just industry. It's whatever. We got the dragon boats in the water here. And you might think the off feeling then is like, okay, well, there's this really dark area over here and there's a storm rolling in. It's like, no. Everybody was too focused on how all this looked. They were like, oh, wow, that looks really serene and everything. But they all missed. There's a little cult down here. Some people standing in a circle. And there's one dude. The color didn't turn out all that well on the photo that I took, but there's a dude here with a blood trail behind him who's he's not having a great day. He's kind of getting sacrificed, and it's all very small. But I was like, I need to inject some like off-putting stuff in here. So there's a little cult down here that's doing something a little sacrificial, and but that's kind of I was in the mode of monocopsis, like something is off, something feels off, and in this piece is this. Thanks, Jess. And this is why like I want to redo this piece on a larger scale so that I can actually like put some details in here that make it pop out a little bit more, right? But this paint night, like we had like 2 hours to do this, so I did it really quickly. So this ended up being kind of like a study, I guess. But I would definitely redo this. But unlike the other one, unlike Utopian, I actually like this piece. I just want to do it bigger. I want to do it on a larger scale to get more detail in and work on it for more than 2 hours, right? So now we're moving on to the 4 pieces that I actually like. A Blink in Existence, charcoal drawing, yes. Monocopsis in very general terms is the subtle feeling of being out of place. these works, I kind of took liberties with that definition and expanded them to apply that feeling to events and locales as well, rather than just personal internal feelings. Situations can feel off, out of place. Locations can make us feel that way too. I think the feeling that things are going wrong can work both internally and externally, and these works intend to explore that in some kind of way. It'd be so stunning when you walk into the room and it strikes you. You walk in to take a look at the details and boom, cult. Exactly. This is the last piece that I did in my apartment that I was in before I moved into this one with my girlfriend. I was doing this on the floor of my apartment. And I do like this piece. Again, I would probably rework this to be bigger, because this is very small, which is why you can see some of the texture in the charcoal and on the paper, because this piece is 17 by 14, right? It's very, very small. I would probably work this bigger. This painting is a mood. But yeah, I would definitely do this drawing larger, like, again, on a larger scale. Like, probably scale it up to like 24 by 18 or something like that, you know, or even bigger. But yeah, I called it a blink in existence because it's like, where did this dude come from? Like, where did he come from? You know, where is he falling from? You know, and that's kind of what I wanted to explore here. You know, also, like, there's some issues with the dude. Like, I could do that better, but you know, I'm not gonna quibble with it now. Oh, glug glug. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate it. Refreshing. All right. So now we'll move on to the three pieces that I really like, and I wouldn't change a thing about them. Right. So we'll start with portage. A big part of monocopsis is taking the mundane and twisting it and making it something darker, you know. And like I said here, a lake, okay, whatever, who cares? A lake at night, it's a little more compelling. Now we're getting somewhere. A lake at night with something in it that shouldn't be, with the lights still on. Now that's what gets me, you know. That's what makes me go. Like, if I saw a piece like this in a gallery, I would be like, yo, this is nice. So yeah, here we have a lake at night. You know, very standard scene, very subtle clouds in the background. You know, we got a light over here, just like a telephone pole, or not a telephone pole, but you know, like an antenna, a cell tower. That's the term I'm looking for. We got plants in the foreground and all that. Some subtle lighting here, you know, just to give it a little bit of depth. And then we have something in the lake that should not be there, you know. Let me tell you all how hard it was to find a reference for a car underwater. It was extremely difficult to find a reference for a car underwater. And what I wanted to do with this is, one thing I wanted was, actually, it wasn't hard to find a reference of a car underwater. It's very hard to find a reference of a car underwater with the headlights on. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a piece. I knew I wanted the car in the water, and I knew I wanted the headlights on. But I wanted to be very particular in where I put it, because this is like not quite the middle of the lake, but it's like, how did that car get there? You know, how did that car get there? Because it's pretty far out there. And how are the lights still on? Like, what's going on? And it was that sense of unease, like something's wrong here. I love that emote. I love that emote. You know, but I wanted to convey that. It's like, what is going on here? More like a sense of panic. Well, I suppose a sense of panic if you're like in the car. Maybe that says something about me, that I didn't consider any of any of that. That's just sort of, yo, Jake. I just realized that looks like, oh, it looks like Lionel comes in and then Ronald's just like, nah, I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with this dude. That's amazing. I didn't realize they timed out like that. That's awesome. Uh, so yeah, I really wanted this piece to be like, yo, Kidney Gamer, welcome in. Thank you for lurking while you're working. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And of course, because you're lurking, you know what you get. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Thank you for the lurk, my friend, and thank you for the shout out for Jess, Jake, and for Kidney Gamer. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, y'all, if you want to see some fantastic artwork, you all should check out Jess Draws Ducks. Just a fantastic artist. And does fun freestyle Fridays where like you can request anything you want, and she will draw it. It's amazing. I mean, well, you can request anything you want within Twitch's guidelines, I should say. And Kidney Gamer, if y'all want a variety streamer who's got a lot of energy and really interactive with his community, really cool dude, really fun guy with a fantastic outlook and a fantastic story, you should check out the Kidney Gamer. Really great guy. Jess has a Bob Ross duck emote. Enough said. Exactly. It really tells a story, because like, why would anyone be at the lake in the middle of the night unless they were the reason for the car being in the lake? See, that's a good question too. Also, like, how did that car get that far out? Because it's like, it's nowhere near any sort of shore, right? So yeah, this was a really fun piece to work on. A really fun piece to work on. Really good. I say really good in terms of like really good to work on. I'm not saying it's a really good painting. I mean, you may feel it is. I think it is, but I'm not that braggadocious. Now we have Out of the Blue. Whereas like sometimes the subtle feeling of things being off isn't so subtle, but it's a beautiful day, so they've got that contrast going for them, which is nice. This here, again, this works on a much bigger scale. Like this is a very large painting. This painting is 60 inches by 54. So it's very large. Like it's almost 5 feet by 5 feet. Almost 5 feet by 5 feet. Right? Like very close. Wait, that's right? 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Yeah. It's almost 5 feet by 5 feet. And this is another one where like I would probably like just rework a few elements of it. But I wanted this wide open sky. Like, if anything, I would probably redo the clouds, because I do feel like I do clouds better than they are here, right? And I would probably rework this a little bit to make this a little more clearer, because obviously, like, we see a plane that's doing a tailspin, which is fine if it's a stunt plane. But that is a passenger jet. That is a passenger jet, and in real life, you can see, like, the actual detail of the fire coming off of the jet. And it's like, well, yeah, those people are not having a good day. They're not having a good day at all. Monocopsis, everybody. Something's going wrong. So yeah, I like this piece. Again, it would just be like a thing, like I would just like try a few. I would clean up a few things, is what it is, and I probably will when because I plan on reworking all of this stuff, except for Portage, and the next one I'm not gonna. Well, the next one maybe, but Portage I'm not touching at all. Portage is like, I'm not touching I'm out of all these works, I am the happiest with Portage. But yeah, this is Out of the Blue. And now, the final piece that I decided to post for Monocopsis, because again, I don't like the rest of them, is you can totally see yourself in this painting, looking up and enjoying a beautiful day. watching a plane go by, and then yes, exactly, exactly. I'm glad that you can see yourself in it. Um, so this piece is the one that inspired the idea of monocopsis. Um, and this is also one of the most ambitious pieces I had done in terms of figures, you know, because it's been a long time. Like, you don't see any of their faces, like I say here, but you know, this piece is into the thick of it. Now, if there is one thing I would change about this piece, there's one thing, I would move the location of the moon to over here. I would move it over here, maybe behind this tree, a little bit. And the reason I would do that, and I may do that someday actually, um, because I like all the other elements of this work. We have three people here pointing up, right? This person's looking as well. Then we've got this person who, this actually kind of captures it pretty good, but in person you can see it really well. This person's looking at the viewer. This person is facing the viewer, and this person is running into the woods. And the whole idea for this, and this is why I would shift this moon over here, was I wanted them to be pointing out into the woods somewhere. Like something is going on over here that isn't good. Like they heard something, they're pointing at it. But as my girlfriend's father pointed out, it kind of just looks like they're pointing at the moon, you know. But I do still feel like it's unnerving enough with this person looking at you and this person running away. You know, it's like, why are they doing that, you know? This was fun because I kind of modeled these people after me, because I was like, I took pictures of myself in these poses. But yeah, if there's one thing about this, I would change the location of the moon to over here so that it's very clear that they are not pointing at the moon. They're pointing at something else. You know. But I do really like this piece. This piece is hanging above our TV right now, actually. So, that's 2019. Working on monocopsis. Not really liking how any of it turned out. And then, a little thing called COVID-19 happened. Yeah, like March 2020. Yeah, I agree you should move the moon. It kind of gives the composition a very up and down feel. And you don't really want to move your eye to the person running. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, but yeah, we got hit with a little pandemic. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I'm still working at this warehouse. I decided, well, I'm asthmatic and I don't really trust what's going on here um, in terms of my safety. Like, basically, my my doctor told me, like, yeah, if they don't give you time off for medical leave because you're asthmatic and this is a respiratory illness, if they don't give you time off, you should quit. So I requested medical leave and they gave it to me, thankfully. I did end up quitting that job, like just not going back. Um, but that's a story for later. Well, thank you, Jess. Yeah, yeah. I would just change the location of the moon, to make it clear that they're not pointing at it. You know. Um, so, pandemic hit. I was off on medical leave, and then all of a sudden, I had a whole lot of time to myself to paint. And the first thing I did was I got really experimental with with this purely abstract piece. Um, yeah, I say here Monocopsis isn't done with yet. It's more of a living document. Yeah, it is a living document. Monocopsis is on hold right now because I'm working on this new series, which we'll get to in a second. But um, yeah, this was me just kind of going back to um, the wild experimentation of my early abstract stuff using a palette knife, like I did with what do you call it? With Fisher. Um, I broke out the palette knife again and then just started just mark making. Like I just started like just making marks on the canvas, you know, just going wild and crazy with it, right? Um, yeah, just going nuts. These are some progress pics, and then the final outcome, which you know, I this was fun because it was just me just playing around, just making a whole lot of mess and just having some fun with it. Um, you know, uh, there's not really any deep meaning to it other than me giving it like a crazy name like A Quiet Afternoon in the Park because there's nothing quiet or afternoonish or parkish about this piece, but that's what I called it. I was just kind of I did that I'm just having some fun with myself, calling it that. And then the next piece in this series, if you will, of me just experimenting, because this one's big too. This one's 60 feet by 45 feet. 60 feet by 60 inches by 45 inches. It's not 60 feet. That would be insane. And then we have the water sure is nice this time of year, which again, uh, you know, just wild mark making. This piece, the only part of it that I did with a brush, the only my bedroom is huge. Yeah, the only part of this painting that I did with a brush um, is the background layer of the white. Everything else was done with a palette knife. And again, this is just experimenting with mark making. Um, you know, it's kind of funny. This piece and another piece, well, the previous piece, I hit a face in both of them, kind of like a menacing face. My girlfriend picked up on it right away with this one, but there's a little face over here. You know, a couple of eyes, a little bit of nose and a mouth. You know, actually, this one she didn't pick up on it right away, but eventually she saw it. Like she was just walking past it. Yeah, this right here. Because I was like, yeah, let me hide, let me do this. That would freak them out in the middle of the night. Actually, it's funny. It doesn't. It doesn't. Like she still lets me keep it up in our living room. I don't know why. Because I would think it because she hates horror movies and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, this one doesn't bother her, or it does, and she just doesn't tell me. Because if it did, I would take it down. Um, Also, this one, just real quick, little bit of a face in here. Like, here's the nose, eye socket, and like a screaming mouth, and then everything else just kind of like falls away. This one is a little less intentional. It just kind of ended up looking that way, and I kind of like ran with it a little bit. But then we get into the piece that kind of inspired the tracking series that we're working on now. And that's this piece up here, the underbrush. This is kind of the beginnings of tracking, because I started out painting something pretty representational, you know. This is also when I started really like getting the clouds together, like the clouds that I like, right? Getting them the way that I like them. So we have this, right? This is kind of the underpainting. And then I decided to scuff it all up using the palette knife. mixing representational with abstract, right? And this was the final result. This was the end result. And actually, you're not seeing the whole thing because I had to crop my window. So let me zoom out some. There you go. Now you can see the whole thing. But yeah, this is my first experimentation in sort of, it's like the digital mess is taking over. Exactly. I didn't really have that thought in my head yet. That would come later. I just thought like this it would be cool to like just take a representational image and scuff it all up. Much like I did with that oil painting back in university, where I had to do that because my professor didn't like representational paintings, which I still just forget that guy. Also, this isn't exactly realistic because this is very, very dark down here when I don't think this area would be that dark. So it sort of works like a Rene Magritte, actually. Where it's like you have the foreground all in shadow, like the building and like the outdoor lights are on, and then you pan up and the entire sky is like bright, like it's the middle of the day. That's kind of the look the contrast I was going for here in this corner. Because when you take a look at the in progress, it's like, why is this so dark down here, right? But it's a representational abstract, so it works. And then we get to the piece that kind of synthesized exactly what I want in this series, and this is when I decided to call it tracking, which is I wonder if I have my artist statement. My artist statement doesn't matter. It's on my other laptop. I don't feel like pulling that up. Yeah, I don't feel like pulling that out. Unless I can find it online. But anyway, we've got watching. And this is the piece that kind of was like, okay, this is what I want to, this is where I want this to go. So obviously we have an outdoor scene. We've got a couple of trees. We got some water with some poles sticking out. We've got the foreground, and then just the palette knife just wreaking havoc on the piece, right? This is the piece that was like, I know where I want this particular show to go. This is what kind of brought everything on that I've been working on stream, right? This is the start of it. And I've had a couple of people ask me, because this hung up at the station gallery as well. Oh, excuse me. Whew. This hung up at the station gallery as well. And I had some people ask me, like, why is it called watching? Well, it's because there's someone watching you right in the center of the piece. You don't see it at first, but it's there. Just something is there watching you. But yeah, I love this piece. It's in our bedroom right now, opposite our bed. It's I love this piece, especially because it like really here's a close up of the dude. Yeah. There he is. And yeah, you can see what this piece looked like before, well, in the midst of like adding all the abstraction. And then this is what it looked like before I added any of the abstraction. He's so small. Well, he's very far away. He's very far away. Like, this is probably like 400 or 500 yards out from where you're standing, like in real life, because this is based on like I took a picture of this, like it's right near my house. Um, well, not right near my house, but it's close enough. Right near our apartment. So he's probably like a good like 400 or 500 yards away. So yeah, he's very much in the distance. Um, and then we got a little sky study where I was working on clouds and abstracting the sky. Um, Now this is coming up. We're gonna have to shift to a different medium, a different website. Um, but in the meantime, let me see if I can find something. Y'all take a look at this. This is just a study that I did, and I don't do very many studies. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I don't do a whole lot of studies at all. To be honest, I don't get a whole lot out of doing like studies. I probably should. I think I put in the blurb there, like, I don't really stretch before workouts either, and I probably should, but I just don't, because it bores me. And doing studies bores me to tears. I'd rather, if I'm doing a painting, I would rather figure out what's going on live on the canvas rather than doing a study before and seeing if it works, It gets me more excited to, like, figure stuff out on the canvas while I'm doing it. Like on a piece that I intend to show. But this is one study that I did, and it turned out all right, I think. But let me see if I can find. Because I did apply for an artist residency to do this series. So let me see if I can find that. I'm not sure. I'll try this too, because I think I had to submit the residency because I want to see if my initial ideas for this show match up with where I kind of see it now. And I don't see it, so I may have to. You don't even do composition drawings? Nah, I just kind of figure it out. I just kind of figure it out. Yeah, it's just This sounds so childish. This sounds so childish saying it out loud, but you know what? Whatever. It's worked so far. I don't like doing boring stuff. And for me, like doing composition drawings and doing studies and all that just bores me to tears. It's like I'd rather just work on the stuff that I want to work on, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, that is not begrudging anybody who does do that stuff. That is not a criticism on their work or their process at all. I just don't like doing it. Jess is upset. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just don't I don't for a lot of artists, I would say for the majority of artists, like they get a lot of satisfaction out of doing that. I just never have. I just never have. Which probably makes me an amateur, but that's just how I am. I can't stand doing that stuff. Even though I probably should. Again, I probably should. I should probably eat more vegetables than I do. I eat an okay amount of vegetables, but I should probably eat more vegetables. I should probably stretch more when I work out. Uh, but that stuff is boring. I'll deal with all the consequences of all this stuff when I'm 70, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's you have to every time I dive into a final painting without extensive prepping, I waste so much time fucking up and redoing stuff. That's fair. That's fair. You know, I get that. I get that. I definitely understand that. Yeah, no, I certainly don't begrudge anybody doing that stuff. I just I've I've never enjoyed it, so I don't do it. I'm an old stubborn man. um yeah, so like this blurb says, I started this painting right after I finished watching. Also, I have to change this sizing here. This is not 72 by 48. It's more like 50 something by like 30 40, I think. I messed up the measurement. Hello, is it art you're looking for? Hello, Trip. How are you? How are you? True, we all have our processes. Yeah. uh yeah, so I started this right after watching. Um, you know, and I said here too when I posted it, like I think these works have a pretty good trajectory. I would say so because I mean that trajectory has carried me through all of these streams. So the space is altering itself, fragmenting into abstraction. Decided to call this series of works tracking, as in the warning that pops up when the picture on a VHS tape starts to distort. You know. I also added that some of you may not know what VHS tapes are, and that's because I'm old. You know. I'm sure that Jess and Trip remember VHS tapes. Now, for some reason, I can't blow this up. I need to fix this. Also, that's the most recent. That's the most recent piece that I have on my website. So I need to really update my website. So we're gonna switch over to actually, I don't think Instagram will have I don't think I can blow this up that big. Um, yeah, it's not gonna let me blow it up big. So we're gonna head over here and full screen that. You only remember Betamax. Betamax. Man, oh man. So this is a school building that was right near my house in Markham. Well, my apartment in Markham, my second apartment. Um, and it was a nice snowy night. It was actually nighttime on it. The colors in this piece are actually pretty close to the colors of the original photo that I snapped, and it's like 2 a.m. It was just like that bright, because of all the cloud cover and all of the light coming out of the city, right? I kind of dig it. I understand. This is one thing that this may be a controversial opinion. Um, I understand the need to reduce it, and I understand the need that people are annoyed by it. I get that. I really do. Light pollution has never really bothered me, especially on rainy and snowy nights when all the lights like illuminate the clouds. Yeah, light pollution has never ever bothered me. I remember when I was a kid, I could never understand why rain clouds, even in Chatham, which is still a city, like it doesn't have a whole lot of people, but it's still a city. I never knew why rain and snow clouds at night looked brown and kind of looked like light, you know? It wasn't until I was older and I learned that it's actually just light reflecting from, the city. And then you go out in the country and it's actually pretty dark, right? Um, but yeah, I don't mind light pollution. I think part of that too is like I've never really super been into space. Like space is cool and everything, but I've never really taken like a full on interest in space. Um, like and stargazing and all that kind of stuff. Space kind of I don't know. I don't know if it freaks me out is the way to say it, but like space is whatever. You know, I don't I don't trip off of space. Space is cool. No one can hear you scream there. True. By the way, one of the best movie taglines ever. The original tagline for Alien. In space, no one can hear you scream. Amazing tagline. I have a full interest in space. Stargazing is only cool when you have a telescope. No, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad that so many people have such an interest in space. It's just never really. I mean, space is cool. It's fine. Uh, I have no interest in going in space. I would not be one of those people that want to go to Mars. No, thank you. I'll take my chances down here. Um, you know, space is fine. So, long story short, I do not mind light pollution. So this piece was I abstracted the school area, um, and I wanted to focus the abstraction mostly on the school itself, um, and some on the trees, but mostly the school, um, and then going down into the snow a little bit. Your "it's fine" includes an eye roll. I remember one of my aunts when I was younger. She was telling me to do something, and I kind of like, I guess I rolled my eyes, and she was like, "Don't you cut your eyes at me." And I was like, I don't know what that means. I apologized after, and I asked my mom what it meant, and she was like, "Oh, it means you rolled your eyes, like you just like shot her a look." And I was like, "Oh." So I apologized to my aunt, but you know, anyway, that's not important. What's important is that this piece, I this is really what kind of synthesized where my artwork was going. Um, my eyes permanently roll. I have a Lego Saturn V rocket. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that thing's cool. That thing's cool. Yeah. I think I don't trip off of space for the same reason that I don't trip off of water. I'm fine with it. I mean, no, I like water more than I like space. I just can't swim all that well, you know. But in terms of like exploring the seas and everything, like going scuba diving, I'm fine. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go swim among a whole bunch of fish and all that. I don't need it. Anyway, this is one of my favorite pieces of yours. Well, thank you, Trip. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the screen here for a second. I'm going to go grab my other laptop. Um, because I want to find... I know I said earlier that I didn't want to, but I do kind of want to find my application page for the for this particular show. So bear with me, everybody. I'm just going to go grab my other laptop. I will be right back. Enjoy the painting, and then we'll continue on with the other paintings that I've posted. Okay, so the unfortunate thing about this laptop is that it is very old, and I have to actually keep it plugged in to use it. So it is also very old. Or, I already said that. It's also very slow, is what I meant, compared to this one. Have you read Astrophysics for People in a Hurry? I have books about black holes and astrophysics. You own it. Okay, let me move this cursor off the screen. There we go. But yeah, this is this particular piece, and we'll move on to the next piece while we're waiting. Actually, we'll come over here because I think this has some progress pictures. Yeah. Hey, I don't mind you all talking about your space stuff. I don't mind it at all. Talk about space all you like. Actually, I'm gonna. No, actually, I'm not. Never mind. Um, just a little video taking stock of the entire piece and then zooming out to see just how big it is. This is a big piece. So, the next piece is this little ditty right here. No, get out of here. Excuse me. I don't think I had progress pics for this one. Did I? No. I just had it. Yeah. So the barometer is falling. Oop. That's not what I wanted to do. So yeah, this piece is the barometer is falling. I wanted to get like a really can we talk about dark matter? I mean, if you want to talk about dark matter, sure. This computer's still booting up. My goodness. No space emotes. Well, of course I'm not gonna have space emotes. I don't trip off of space. Or did you mean just no space emotes in general? I mean, Trip, by all means, talk about those things. I won't be able to contribute much because I don't know much about them. Hey, Angel, how are you? Welcome in. Redria too. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Guys, I want to hear about this painting. Jake, thank you for shouting out Redria. Yeah, if y'all want a fantastic streamer who does a whole lot of fun Minecraft and Mario and Luigi content, and someone who really digs piranha plants and Koroks, and also plays Breath of the Wild. And I'm sorry, I forget that other game that you were playing. Was it like Dragon or I'm sorry, I'm failing. If you want someone who's just a really fun watch, you should go watch Redria. Go give them a follow. Just fantastic content. I really enjoy going over their space every single time. Plus, has a fantastic raid zone. So that's also a bonus. I'm joking. We're here for your painting. I mean, like I said, y'all can talk about whatever you want. Okay, so this piece, I was driving out near, where was I driving? I don't know. I was driving somewhere in the area, and I noticed these storm clouds rolling in, and I was like, ooh, I should probably get home. I didn't snap a picture. This is all out of my mind. It's raiding me. Hallelujah, it's raiding me. So this piece is all out of my mind from what I remember, because obviously I'm not going to snap a picture while I'm driving. That would be dangerous. Don't text and take pictures while you drive, kids. I do remember in the scene though, like there wasn't a house, so I added the house for this particular piece, and I just wanted to give like another feeling of unease, That's kind of the tenor of a lot of my work, is making people feel uneasy, like they should probably be getting out of there. So that was the big tenor of this piece. Then we move on to this one. This was one of the first pieces that I actually did on camera. This was on IG Live, which is what I was doing streaming on before I moved over to Twitch, on Instagram Live. So this piece is called The Sundown, and yet another entry into the tracking series. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay, I don't have any bonus pictures of that one. But yeah, this one was really fun. This one, the sky is taken from a picture that I took when my girlfriend and I went to a Toronto Argonauts game. Um, it had been kind of a rainy. Thank God you moved over here. Yeah. Twitch is a little bit more accessible than Instagram Live, so I'm glad I did too. Especially because I got to meet all you people. I mean, I knew Jake already, and I knew Jess already, but I got to meet all you people. I will not say Argo. I do not like the CFL, but I went to an Argos game because someone gave us tickets, so I was like, yeah, okay, we'll go. But yeah, this piece was really a big experimentation in doing the lighting on the sky, especially like during a sunset, because I hadn't done many sunset pictures before. This computer is still booting up. My goodness, I didn't realize it had gotten that slow. Instagram Live, those were the days. Yep. So yet another piece in the tracking series, and I'm going to explain what the tracking series is once this computer boots up and I can read my artist statement about it. But it is about fragmenting reality at the baseline. And then we have another Instagram Live painting. This one is titled not that. The Bend. This one, now don't you all worry. The inspiration for this piece, I actually pulled over to the side of the road and on the side of the highway and took a picture, and then I moved back over, like got back in my car, moved over, and I gotta go make lunch. Oh, that's no problem, Jess. Gotta go make lunch. I mean, you gotta eat. Eating is important. Hope you have a wonderful lunch. For the record, I'm also glad you moved to Twitch because now I can do that. Well, thank you for the 100 bits, Jake. I appreciate it. Trip, come on now. Thank you for the 100 bits as well. I appreciate y'all. What was I saying? Oh, right. So, this is on the highway on the 401 heading back to Chatham, actually. Choo choo? I don't know. Maybe. I guess we're close. I pulled off the road. Yeah. I pulled off the road, took a picture of this bend, and then pulled back on. Like that car wasn't ahead. I think there was a car ahead of me. In the original picture that I took, but yeah, no, I pulled off the side of the road to take the picture and then got back on, because again, don't take pictures while you're driving, y'all. But yeah, this was fun to work on. This was a lot of fun to work on. Hey, okay, we might be in business here. These pipes are loud. Okay, so let's move on to our next piece here. Oh, are you kidding me? Gonna lurk for a bit? Hey, no problem, Jake. Thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Appreciate it, Jake. Also, if y'all want to understand how big of a dummy I am, I forgot that I moved the file off of this laptop because it was getting so slow. It's on my external hard drive. So I will be right back again. My goodness. Wasted so much time getting that thing booted up. I know that was a typo, Trip, but That's but Jake, yes, bye. But yeah, I like this piece. I like this piece. It's kind of on the smaller side, but I do still enjoy it. I do still quite enjoy it. Um, yeah, don't you hate it when you're just driving along and then reality starts to fragment around you? Okay, so the next piece I'm fairly sure is a commission. Yes, okay. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've done ever. Like ever. This if you ever want to get a glimpse of the kind of stuff that I like to do, this is it right here. This is it right here. Um this particular piece was a commission that I hold on. Was a commission. I called it vacancy. Um I'll give you $5 if you walk through that door and come back out without being physically or psychologically scarred. Yes, somebody saw the barometer is falling because I submitted it to the 2021 version of drawing for art at the station gallery, and someone really wanted that piece, but they didn't get it. Um, it was auctioned off to somebody else, so they contacted me and asked me to do asked me for a commission, and I really loved this commission because this person, you could tell they really like my style, and that is it's amazing when you find when someone commissions you because they like the way that you do your work, right? They didn't have anything in mind. They were just like, I really like your style. Can you just do a painting, whatever you want? They did say that they like dark stuff. Trip, thank you for the 100 more bits. You don't got to keep cheering me, but thank you. Um, they did specify that they do like dark things, so I decided to make this painting very dark. Um, you know, and it's like, yeah, where does this door go? Like, where does this go? There is not a single part of this painting that I do not like. This is one of, if I had to do like a top 5 of my favorite paintings just on a personal level, this is like probably in the top 3. I love this painting. Absolutely love it. Love everything about it. And it was so fun to work on because it was so freeing. It was like, yeah, just go nuts. So I went nuts, and this is what, and obviously, like, based on the tracking series, it's based on the tracking series. I'm going to when I finally get tracking into a show, like actually get the work into a gallery, I'm going to see if I can persuade the particular commissioner to loan this painting back for the show. Because I would love to have this piece in the show. You know, if it isn't, it isn't, and that's the way it goes because technically that's her piece now. But if I could convince her to loan it for the show, like I would be thrilled. Thank you, Angel. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad that you like it. Uh, yeah, I love this piece. Um, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have any in progress pics or anything like that. Yeah, no. Okay, so next up is a hybrid piece that I wasn't sure was gonna work. This piece here, which is called Between. So this piece is a look at the Fifth Street Bridge. Or is it the Third Street Bridge? I think it's the Fifth Street Bridge in Chatham, looking toward downtown. There's a big old condo that they've spent years and years building. Like I think they're going on like a decade now that they've been building this thing. Um, but this piece is an experiment in that it is a mix of charcoal and acrylic paint. A mix of charcoal and acrylic, with some figures in the foreground that I would really love to rework. And I'll probably rework those figures when the time comes. But yeah, this is sort of like sometimes a single area decides to abstract itself and fragment from reality, and it happens to be this building that's right here. You know, So this was a really fun experiment that we did, also on Instagram Live. Um, this is the piece that I did right before the piece that we did to switch over to Twitch. So yeah, this is one of my favorites, and I'm so glad that it turned out well. Like it actually worked out, because I wasn't sure if it would. I wasn't sure if the acrylic paint would even adhere to the paper. I wasn't sure how all that was going to go. Oh, excuse me. Maybe I need to take a nap. So here's the piece that ended up making it. This is the piece that I started working on or no, maybe I was still on Instagram. I think I was still on Instagram. Oh no, sorry. So I was on Twitch. This is the painting that we did to switch over to Twitch. The next painting though is where things went interesting. But yeah, this painting is called Cataclysm. Here's some up close stuff, because I did a whole lot of detail stuff in the background, which I really enjoyed. So you can see like a little shack there. See a lighthouse way in the background on the lake that's frozen. We got some people here that are watching this cataclysm happen and are helpless to do anything. This dude fell. We've got some details over here. And finally, a detail on the abstraction itself. Yeah, just looking at it, I'm realizing this isn't like the greatest picture of it, but regardless, here it is. This is when we made the switch over to Twitch. The first painting that I worked on Twitch. I was so proud because Jake from the Woods was there the first day, and like 6 people showed up, which was kind of cool. For a first stream. But here we have 3 separate pockets of the fragmenting of reality, the destruction of reality. 3 separate areas, And just by scale, you can tell that this one's just starting. This one's so far in the distance, but it's still very tall. This one is just massive, because it's almost as tall as this one, but it's way further in the distance, So whatever's going on back here is just nothing good, right? But this one was a lot of fun to play with because of all the details in the background, especially, And on to the next piece. Okay. Sneak peek for a big piece that I was doing. The next piece is this one. Yes. Let me switch over here as well. Yes, this is Early Morning in the Park, which was the second painting that we did on Twitch, but this was the first painting that I did. The first painting that I attempted to do OBS. It was my first foray into OBS, because the first streams that I did on Twitch, which unfortunately I think are lost to time, or they might still be there. No, they're still there, actually, now that I think about it. My first foray into Twitch, I was streaming off of my phone. I was using the Streamlabs app on my phone. This was my first foray into actually streaming off of my computer so that I could use OBS. And that's when I learned that this laptop is great. It's served me very well over the years. However, it is a dual-core processor, which means it did not have the capacity to stream in any definition. So the first stream that I did trying to do this painting was extremely choppy. Did not work at all. Things were freezing. People could hear me, and then they wouldn't hear me, and then the sound would distort, and the picture would be frozen, and it was not a good scene. It was not a good scene um, at all. Dropping frames left and right. I think I was at like a 25 to 45%, yeah, between 25 and 45% drop frames. Like, it just wasn't good. And I didn't know what any of that meant at the time. Someone just told me that you're really lagging, which really sucks because this looks like a very compelling piece. But this was the end result. We got all that together. I got a new laptop. And this was before I was doing like gaming streaming. So like, you know, I had nothing else to fill the void. So I put this together. I'll show you some of the in-depth looks because this painting has a lot of details that kind of get hidden. Because it's so large. It's 60 inches by 46 inches. So we have well, my little blurb is sometimes when reality deconstructs, it can leave little pockets and little windows through which we can see things that maybe we ought not. Things which were meant to stay hidden, you know? And one of the things that should stay hidden is someone just laying on the ground here in this park. So that's this area right here. And what was really fun about this was doing the light around like on these trees and doing the light itself. Like, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. And then we've got like all the different apartment buildings, and we got this dude smoking up here just on his balcony, which is right here in the painting. So you can see very, very small details, which is why I can't wait to get this show in some sort of gallery so that people can get up close and like look at all this stuff, right? Because it's one thing for me to like broadcast it and bring the camera up close, but it's another thing to actually see it in person, you know? You got some details in the back of the skyscrapers. Some more apartment details with some more of the sky. This I really liked too. I liked how that turned out with the whole like light behind this tree. Really liked how that turned out. And that it's a warmer light, which sometimes happens with stuff, right? Like, it's a much warmer light here than this is, you know. This is more of a fluorescent light. This one's more like a halogen light. So yeah, that's early morning in the park. And then I think we're coming up on, yeah, okay, so this is a sneak peek of another piece that we were doing on stream. And now we're coming up on the final piece that I've actually posted online. Which is the one that's right behind me. Yeah, Decrepit. Which is the most recent painting of mine that I've posted online. This, I've been talking about how, like, if I had to put paintings in like my top 5 or top 10 or whatever, this, I think, is my favorite painting that I've done so far. This is my absolute favorite painting that I've done so far. In terms of concept, in terms of like proof of concept, in terms of like actual what's the word I'm looking for? Execution. In terms of actual execution, because everything in this painting, I think everything works. Honestly, like I think everything in this painting works. Really, really, really pleased with it. Let's open the image in a new tab. Yeah, I feel like everything in this piece works. And it was really fun to work on stream, you know. This is actually the painting that I was working on when I got hit with that huge raid, and I got to meet a lot of you, actually. It looked challenging. Yeah, this was a challenging painting, but it was a fun challenge. It wasn't a frustrating challenge. And of course, my favorite part of this piece is these legs in this puddle that don't connect to anything. Like, what is that reflecting? I love the water reflections and the small weeds. Thank you. Yeah. That's what was fun, was like really doing all that kind of stuff, and the wet pavement, and getting this van together and like the little details in the van window, seeing the trees reflect like through the windows, but they're kind of muted, Um, but yeah, this painting, favorite painting I've done so far, absolute favorite. And yeah, that's the latest. This is the most recent painting that I've posted anywhere. I gotta catch up because we've done a whole bunch of other stuff. Like we've got the big 6 foot by 4 foot painting of the sky with the plane that I need to post. Just noticed water reflections too. I don't know why. I mean, hey, there are things that the light pole makes it very real. Well, I appreciate that. I think part of that is like you've been to this lot before. Well, I appreciate that. I think it's because it's so ubiquitous, right? Like we've all been in a parking lot like this, that's kind of run down and like, there's a van or a car there that hasn't moved in a while, So I appreciate that. Yeah, no, this piece is the most recent one that I've posted online. I still gotta, because there's like a whole bunch after this. Like I think there's another 5 paintings that we've done on stream that I finished on stream that I haven't posted anywhere yet. That I really should. Yeah, because we have a. This is one of the first paintings you've seen from me. Nice. Yeah, I mean, hey, in my opinion, it's a good place to start because this is my favorite piece that I've done to date. But yeah, because there was the red room one, and there's the 6 foot by 4 foot, and then there's the moon painting with the moon behind the clouds and there's a building, and then there's the dude who's floating in the water, and then there's the painting. Oh, of the woman floating off of the house. So yeah, there's at least 5. I might be missing one, but there's at least 5 paintings that I need to take a picture of and post somewhere. On Facebook and Instagram and my website. I need to update all that. I mean, my website's missing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just bad. Like maybe one of these days when I, make a little bit more money, I'll hire like a web administrator and get them to post all this stuff for me. Yeah, the jet one with the clouds. Yeah, I gotta take a picture of that one in full and like post it somewhere. Actually, hold on, everybody. We're gonna take a little trip here. These aren't the final pieces. I don't care about all this stuff. My posts. But some of the final pieces may actually be on here. Yeah, okay, so here's the actually hold on, go back. Okay, here's the red room one that y'all may have seen on okay, so we'll just do that and then we'll run through them. Then here's the plain one. And these haven't been edited or anything. I just snap pictures because I would rate out and then like people would be like, "Oh, what were you working on?" And I'd be like, "Well, this one's not done, but we can talk about it." That's not the final product of that painting, but actually, here it is. Never mind. Actually, that's not the final product too either, but it's closer to the final product. Bear with me, everybody. I'm not sure this is the final product of this one either, but we could talk about it. And then I'll just bring up on my phone the final one. Okay, so Here's the here's the red room one, where we actually have the figure like in frame. You can see that this person's actually causing a lot of all this, and it's like, oh, what's his story? You know, what's he doing just standing in there? Um, this one I actually reworked a little bit and added a little bit too, because this line is a little bit like it's not parallel. So I fixed this. So I need to take an updated picture of this. But you can kind of get the feeling that this person might be the cause of the abstraction, and it's like, oh, well, why? Why? What is causing that? You know? So we have this. Then this is the one Trip likes. This is the 6 foot by 4 foot. This was a lot of fun to work on. This was a hell of a lot of fun to work on. Again, not the best quality picture, but this was a lot of fun. I'd worked on a 6 foot by 3 foot painting before, but this was 6 by 4, so this is officially the largest painting I've ever done. Oh, this is the first one you saw me do. Nice. Yeah, I am a fan of this piece. This one's in our spare bedroom right now, because I have nowhere else to put it. I saw the clouds slowly come into being, and it was mesmerizing to watch. Well, thank you, Trip. I'm glad. Yeah, this was a lot of fun to put together. This one was a lot of fun to put together. And of course, the glitched out plane. Now this one here, again, it's not finished because this ended up having like an exit sign in it. I don't know why, but I feel the clouds to be somewhat menacing. I mean, hey, that's fair. That's fair. My favorite element in this painting, obviously, is this moon, because this was a new technique. I hadn't tried it before, but the moon behind the clouds, I think, ended up working really, really well. Yeah, this was a fun piece to work on. I wish I had an updated version where this room was complete, but I just have to take a picture of it. Also, this one has no glitch to it yet. I hadn't glitched anything at this point, but I think it was mostly this area that got glitched because I didn't touch this. It's like not letting go of the glitched plane. It's an escape. Yeah. I think that's a good observation. Yeah, I really like this piece, especially because this turned out so well. Like I was so worried that technique wouldn't work. Oh yeah. No, I glitched over here, but I didn't touch this sky part. Yeah, because I did end up glitching all this. Yeah. Yeah, I did say that too. Uh, I don't think that I glitched in the window, but I glitched around them. Now that I remember it. Yeah, I glitched all around the stuff, but I didn't touch them. But this area is the only part of the piece that's glitched. I don't think I extended it out over here at all. And I remember asking in a poll too, like, should I put someone in this window or should I just leave it? And the poll was like, just leave it. So I was like, okay, cool. And then we've got this piece, which isn't the whole piece. There we go. And again, this is an early stage of the piece, like it wasn't done yet. Because I reworked all of this too, you know, and redid the beach and all that. So this isn't a fully up-to-date picture of this, but kind of gives you an idea of the scope of this painting. how sparse it is and subtle it is, but also, you know, how it ended up working out. I reworked parts of the body, definitely. Added some elements, made it a little like added some like small waves and everything so that it was a little more defined. Yeah. Yeah. I did rework the body. And like repainted some of it so that, you know, shadow and light would like work a little bit better. Yep. Yep. And then last but not least, I just have to send a picture of it. Hold on. Everybody relax. I just have to post this on Imager. Camera. No, hold on. Hold on. Yes, upload this. Thank you. Okay, now we can actually go to Imager again because I just uploaded this one. Again, not edited in terms of like, you know, no, I want the direct link. Please. There we go. But yeah, this is the most recent painting that we've done. That we did on stream. You know what's funny, Trip? I actually didn't end up straightening these this glitch out. I just left it because it ended up looking pretty good once I stretched the painting. And this is the piece that was rejected from that show, which was what that whole rejection episode was about, on how if you want to be an artist, like you have to start getting yourself used to rejection, you know? But yeah, I snapped this picture just outside of the gallery that I submitted this to. Yeah, this one was fun. This one freaks my girlfriend out. It's funny. She doesn't like this. Every time I was working on it, she would have me like, I would like kind of like pin it up so that you couldn't see the piece. So like I would take the bottom of the piece. Thank you, Angel. I took the bottom of the piece and like folded it up and then pinned it up that way. So that yeah. You saw up until the garage was finished. Ah, nice, nice. So yeah, this is what it turned out being. This doesn't really look glitched. To me, it looks like it's her being ripped upwards. Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I guess to me, I kind of considered that to be the glitch. Like she's the one glitching out, glitching out of reality. Um, but of course, that's totally valid too. That it looks like she's being ripped upwards. That is also fair. But yeah, this was also like the first time in a very long time that I actually painted a face on a piece. So, you know, broadening our horizons. It's viscerally the sense of being pulled. She is shifting. Yeah. Yeah. This was fun to work on with all y'all though. This was fun. I mean, they're always fun, but this one because we were trying so many new things was a lot of fun. Aliens, totally aliens. All right, so yeah, that's all my work like up to this one. See, Soul, you do space stuff. True, true, I do. So yeah, that's all my work up to this point. Um, Let's see, what do we got in here? Oh, we got some sketches that I did. None of these are good, but they're just some sketches that I did while I was in university, which is a big reason why I don't like really sketch anything out anymore, because I didn't particularly like doing it. But our teacher wanted a sketch project. Yeah, thank you, Bree. I appreciate it. Yeah, that one was fun. That one was fun. We took a lot of risks with it. But yeah, this just a little sketch project that didn't turn out very well. Like it's all just like what the hell is this face? Like this is so stupid. Yeah, no problem, Trip. No problem. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We got a little photography project that I forgot about this picture of me that I superimposed myself into. I was kind of like that picture. But we got a little photo gallery that I did of Chatham's East Side. Just different locale. I mean, it's the place I grew up, you know? So I'll just click on some select favorites. Hey, no problem, Angel. No problem. I'm glad you all enjoyed. Yeah, Trip. Yeah, I appreciate y'all taking the journey with me. Wow, that picture should be captioned, I always feel like somebody's watching me. True, true. Oh, this is the glue factory that I was telling you all about. Unfortunately, this dome has now collapsed. So, you know. Yeah, these are all just different pictures of Chatham's East Side. An old train bridge. This house burned down, I think. Unfortunately. But someone was actually living in there. I was shocked. It was like something you'd find out of a horror movie. And this house was condemned. This house was right beside the Wish Center where I used to work. But yeah, that's some select favorites there. Oh, and then we got the miscellaneous. This is all stuff that I like this thing says, I like to think I'm an honest person, and these are all learning opportunities that I posted here, or just stuff that I don't really see as like part of my professional practice. You know, old failed experiments, silly projects, drawing bets, old work that I took elements from to create new, better work, like the caption says. Like this is all old stuff that this is a self-portrait that I had to paint, and I hated it. I hated having to paint this. I really did. Because I was like, what am I doing a self-portrait of myself for? Like, who's gonna take this? Like, I don't want to hang it in my house because that just looks conceited. And also, like, who's gonna want a picture of me? Like, that would be weird too. Like, if someone was like, oh yeah, no, I want that. You know, it's like, why do you want a picture of me in your house? That's weird. Anyway, for this, we had to do this in fourth year. We had to do like a painting project of a self-portrait, and everyone else was doing like super serious, super artistic stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna take a picture of me like smiling off the side of the frame and like doing it kind of creepy, you know. And I was the only one who was smiling in my piece, and the teacher was like, why did you decide to do that? And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. Because I just wanted to, I guess. But yeah, we have a bunch of different stuff in here. This was a failed experiment. A big failed experiment. This is a commission that I kind of liked, but also didn't. So I just threw it in here. We have some drawing bets. Like I would go on the football subreddit, the NFL subreddit, and make drawing bets for the Steelers. You know, if the Steelers won, they would have to draw me something. If the Steelers lost, I would have to draw them something. And someone wanted me to do a drawing of the coach of the Cleveland Browns, giving a stone cold stunner to the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin. So I did that. You know, so just an example of some of the challenges I would do. Now this piece here will always hold a special place in my heart because this is a drawing bet that I did on, you'll see here, 2016-01-20. So this was 10 days before my mom died. And this is the last piece. It's just a small little sketch of Carl Mecklenburg. I think that's his name. Who was someone. The Steelers lost to the Broncos, so they wanted a picture of this Broncos player from back in the day. So I did it. So this is the last piece that my mom saw me do, and she liked it, which I was like, that's all I need. That's all I need. Oh, it's all right, Triff. I don't mind talking about my mom. 2017, I probably would have minded, you know, because it was still very raw. And that feeling doesn't really go away, but I can cope with it easier now, you know. So, yeah. So this is the last piece that my mom saw me do, which you know, I'm glad that she liked it. And then this was from the 2016-2017 season. These 5 pictures here are all Eagles related because I made the stupid mistake of accepting bets from 5 different people who were Eagles fans. And because I was like, the Steelers aren't going to lose to the Eagles. And then the Steelers lost to the Eagles, so I had to do 5 drawings in 3 days. So that was a lot of work, but they all turned out pretty good. Like someone just wanted a picture of Nick Foles, their quarterback. This was Nick Foles beating the quarterback of the Steelers in a paper toss contest. Mighty Mouse version of Darren Sproles, who was one of their running backs. Picture of Fletcher Cox sacking a quarterback. The original picture, it was a picture of Drew Brees, who was a quarterback of the Saints, but I just changed it to a quarterback of the Cowboys at one time, Tony Romo, because the Eagles and Cowboys are bitter rivals. I should have done a stick figure out of spite. And then this one was the weirdest one, but I liked it. It was a picture of a bald eagle with the head of Brian Dawkins, who was one of the Eagles' best linebackers back in the day, carrying a bloody, terrible towel, which is the Steelers have a yellow towel that they wave at games, you know. Yeah, and then the Steelers also lost to the Dolphins and to the Patriots, and to the Ravens and to the Cowboys later in the season. Then they lost to the Patriots again in the playoffs, I believe. So, yeah. It's a collection of all the drawings I had to do that year for the drawing bets. But yeah, here's another failed experiment. Really didn't turn out. I did like how that turned out, though. I did like how that turned out. But yeah. So I'm gonna wrap up in about 10 minutes or so. I know I was gonna do some live painting, but you know what? I'm a little bit tired. I should probably take a nap because we're going over to my girlfriend's parents later today to you know, celebrate Mother's Day with her mom and dad. So in the meantime, let me we've already done some memory lane stuff. Let me take you down memory lane on my Facebook, you know, because, you know, I want y'all to meet my mom, you know. No, get out of here. So like my profile picture right now is little me and my mom. This was in my grandpa's house. my mom's dad. He had an organ that none of us knew how to play, but it was kind of cool that he had an organ. Uh, so that's little me, like really really little me. um, Actually, if I go through here with my photos, here's a really fun picture of my mom and my dad back in like 1982 when they were still dating. I love this picture. I absolutely love this picture. I found this actually the last time when I was down in Chatham for the week earlier this year. Um, I found this picture while I was down there, but I love this picture. It just makes me laugh every time. Because yeah, that's my parents. Can I do that expression? I don't know. Uh, Not it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same. uh, yeah, that's my parents. I think my dad would have been like 18 or 19 in this picture. My mom would have been 17 or 18. Yeah, because they were a year apart. Uh, let's see what else we got. Uh, Here's a picture of my mom because my parents, my dad would like make an ice rink for us in the backyard. So that's my mom, and that's my younger brother, my younger sister, and three of my cousins, and then me. Of course, wearing a Bulls jacket when I was a Suns fan. But you know what? We found that at a thrift store, and I needed a winter jacket, so that's what I was wearing. You know, I think all of these winter outfits were thrifted, actually. We hit up thrift stores a lot. Yeah, exactly, just like Gretzky. Um, where's another good picture? Oh, there's my parents on their wedding day. My dad rocked the white tux because why not, you know? Uh, you know, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Very good idea. Um, oh, there's a picture of us, me, younger brother, younger sister. At this point, we didn't know that my older brother existed. And the cummerbund and the red bow tie. Yeah, yeah. Um, I had no idea that we had an older brother at this time, so he's not in this picture. But you know, just doing some reminiscing. Um, oh, here's me, my younger brother, my older brother, and my sister at her wedding. I was she they got like a photo booth thing, so that was fun. That was fun. Um, and then I think uh, there's another picture that I wanted to look at, but I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. I mean, this is close. So that's my older brother when he was a kid, and that was my sister when she was a baby. And then there's my mom, my brother, younger brother, uh, me and my dad. Yeah. Memory lane. Memory lane. Um, but yeah. Then of course you can see my girlfriend in here a bunch. I have always liked this picture of us. This was fun. This was just last summer, going to pick apples. Um, Yeah, and then this is our family. I superimposed my mom in here, giving a hug to my younger brother. But yeah, my mom and dad, younger brother, sister, um, my nieces and nephews, and then my older brother and his wife, and this dude. I don't know what he's doing there, but yeah. Thank you, Buddhabot. I appreciate that. We are dorks. We're very much dorks. But yeah, that's it's a little look at my family. Of course, if y'all want to like go to my Facebook, like feel free. I mean, my Facebook's wide open. Like you can see everything on it. Because honestly, like yeah, like your Facebook can get hacked and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, like at this point, if people don't know that it's me, if someone posts something on my account, I feel like most people would know that it's whether it's me or not. And if they don't, I mean, what are they doing, right? You know. So yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be it for today's stream. Um, so thank you all for actually let me switch. Also, thank you, Bree. Let me switch things here. Yeah, I appreciate all y'all just going on a memory lane with me, going over going over the sort of my art career, I guess. It's been fun to like look back at and kind of reminisce through through all of this. It's been a fun trip, and I appreciate that you all decided to come along with me, and I hope you all enjoyed. Um, let's go find somebody to raid. Um, oh, you know what? I know who we're raiding. They're having a lot of fun. They're having a lot of fun right now. We're switching from a just chatting stream that's all about art to a gaming stream, but you know what? That's okay. We're gonna go raid Gray Cat, who's playing Fall Guys right now, which I think will be a fun watch. Because Gray Cat's a great dude. Very very fun to watch. So um, we'll go raid him. Um, so with that, everybody, I hope you all have a. Oh, you were just about to start too, but too late. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. I appreciate you coming in though. And I appreciate all y'all coming in. Once again, you know, thank you all for coming in. And I know that this can be a hard day for some people who have lost their mothers, or people who like didn't really have a mother figure growing up. So I hope you're well today. And to all of you who do have mothers or mothers yourselves, like I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And let's go say hi to Gray Cat and have some fun over at his stream. All right. And thank you all for coming on this journey with me. I really do appreciate you. All right. Take it easy, everybody.